This is breaking news from Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
That breaking news, the chaos right now across the 5 boroughs as protesters take to the streets following the death of George Floyd at the hands of police in Minneapolis. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sandra Bookman.
And I'm Joe Torres. For the third night in a row, protesters clashed with NYPD officers, attacked police cruisers, and closed down major highways across the boroughs. This right here, a live look from Newscopter 7 high above Union Square in Manhattan, where protesters have filled the streets now for hours.
We have seen large groups of demonstrators in both Manhattan and Brooklyn, where the day started with peaceful protests, but that quickly changed. This is new video tonight just into our newsroom showing NYPD cruisers on fire in Union Square. Now we have team coverage of the events, the protest, and their status right now. We begin tonight with Eyewitness News reporter Dave Evans. He is in Union Square. Dave?
Sandra, we've actually moved several blocks north of Union Square. We were in the heart of it up until about 30 minutes ago, but it's become so violent in Union Square this evening that we have now moved several blocks to the north. As you mentioned, this is the third night of protests in New York City. It shows no sign at all of ending anytime soon. Tonight in Union Square, violence and anger as protesters clashed with police. They set garbage cans on fire, threw glass bottles as officers tried to block 14th Street, and they taunted police, daring them to strike back.
This is showing that we're tired of this. It's been over 200 years, and we're not seen, we're not heard.
At one point, they attacked a police van, breaking windows, spraying graffiti. We caught up with a young woman right after she put her hand through a window in that police cruiser. But does that send a message?
I think it does, to say, like, I'm not afraid to get hurt for what I believe in.
In all tonight, police arrested north of 50 people. It was startling to see how protesters vented at police over what happened in Minneapolis.
There are no good cops until you get rid of the bad cops.
Tonight was similar to what happened in Brooklyn last night at the Barclays Center. It was an incredibly violent night. One officer had his teeth knocked out. 4 others were sitting in a van when police say a woman from Catskill threw a Molotov cocktail inside. Miraculously, no one was burned.
We practice de-escalation, but it is very difficult to practice de-escalation when you're having a brick thrown at you, at your head.
At the same time, the mayor faulted both protesters and police, saying some officers last night overreacted.
We've seen some videos where protesters were handled very violently and roughly, and that is not neighborhood policing, and we will not accept that kind of behavior.
The governor today promised a 30-day investigation by the Attorney General. He said to see what police did wrong, what protesters did wrong. But he said his heart remains with demonstrators, and he begged them, be peaceful.
It is this nation's history of discrimination and racism dating back hundreds of years. That is the honest truth, and that's what's behind this anger and frustration.
And today, the mayor and police commissioner both promised to protect the right of protesters to protest, but they did say if they hurt anyone else during these protests, if they cause physical damage to property, police will move in. They certainly did tonight.